Welcome back to another war video. So this one is war number 2 for season 31, and this time we're against Noon, so New Nation, very high standard Masters Alliance. But sadly it started with some controversy, so as you can see here, 7 members left in the alliance. Nobody really knows, internal investigations going off, but an officer's account randomly went through and booted everybody. So then it messed up our war. Yeah, not everybody could join to do war, so it's a guaranteed loss. We're not going to even think about requesting New Nation to drop points, because that's going to be ridiculous and to compromise their season as well. But there's a lot of good guys over there. We speak to them, we know quite a lot of them, we have a lot of chat, so it was just an even more of a reason why we have no idea what's going off. 100% it can't be any of them, it won't be any of them, so it's just unfortunate. It's happened at a bad time, but it is what it is. So I join here, join into the war, get given the path assignments of path 4 and then path 3. Go into here, as you can see, so I've got Magneto, Black Widow, Clairvoyant, and again Quake. I was hoping not to use Quake, but it is what it is. So I join here, look around the map and think, right, I've only got this Mephisto. What I'll do is I'll use my energy to get to them now. I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll do the fights. Anyway, in the meantime, before that happened, about 10 minutes after I joined, that's when all the kicking started happening. So that was really unfortunate. But then only certain people could then join, only the people who joined the Alliance War map to attack before they were kicked could then actually compete in the Alliance War. So we were guaranteed to be missing at least 3 people, so we knew we wouldn't be able to explore the map. And for us it was just a matter of clearing the boss just to still get some points and some dignity for ourselves. So here, the main thing I've got to remember is that it has the insult to injury, I believe it is node, so every time I get a debuff it lowers my ability accuracy by 15%. So things like parries and that can also go away. And I don't really want to give Mephisto an Incinerate from using a medium attack while Clear is in the Incinerate phase, just because it means it's going to keep getting power, and it means it could go to a special 3, and then it means I have to deal with it even more. So I'm just going to keep baiting the special ones. Yes, it means the fight takes a little bit longer, but it's safer. And for the majority of Alliance War, and most players, there's a few that I know would completely argue with me, but the most point of Alliance War is that you do your fights as safe as you can, get them down, get the attack bonus, and then that's it. Especially in GT40, if you die and it's a little bit of a silly one, so say you take a special 2 from Silver Surfer, say, completely to the block on high ground and end up dying because of it, people ridicule you. If you get smacked in the face by Chavez, people ridicule you. It's just the way GT40 is. We don't spend a lot on the game. There's a few people that spend good money, but not very many. And majority of the time, it's just good players that just want to get all the fights done and kind of compete at the top level still. So there you go there. As you can see, a pretty perfect fight in terms of how much health I've got left. And yeah, so that's Mephisto down. I had logged on to do a fight, but in the meantime somebody else had done it for me, just because they quaked it as well. So I decided to just move up into section 2. And here we've got this Silver Surfer on the Chideneus Fawns. And this is my first rank 4 defender, I think, possibly, I've faced. I know it definitely is this season. But with this node I need to stay in the bleed phase at all times, just so then I can't die from that. Although I have shrugged off the armor, so it's what it is. But at the same time with Black Widow, if I can, I need to try and get to the special 2 and just watch out for the high ground charges, try to keep them under control at the same time. With Silver Surfer not having any buffs because of me taking them from the special 2, then I can happily bait the special 2, and I can also bait heavies without having to worry about it. But here, as you can see, Where I can, I'm trying not to take too many hits into the block, but these things sometimes just happen. And with Black Widow, Clairvoyant, while I'm in the bleed phase, I can just special 2 and regen all my health back anyway. There was a weird input. I thought I'd swiped on the screen to go for a medium attack and then following up for the light attack for the combo. But I didn't move and then just threw a random light attack. So I'd like to just assume and say, oh, that's just a dropped input, sadly. But here's what I mean about the regen here. So I took all that block damage and the high ground damage, and then I'm pretty much back to full again just from one special 2. So yeah, she's pretty strong, especially for fights like that. Here's going to be the first one of the Quake fights for this war. So as normal, I'll speed it up. Penny Parker, pretty easy with Quake on almost all the nodes. But this one's the explosive personality. And obviously, as most people know, Penny Parker loves to auto block you. So you give her the explosive personality quite quickly. And it's just the way this fight goes. She has really poor physical resistance, so a champ like Quake absolutely nukes her. Hercules, again, would also probably do this quite quick, especially if he was ramped up. I know a lot of people nowadays are using a rank 4 Hercules. Sadly, mine's still only rank 3 because I'm poor and I don't have any resources to be able to rank 4 a champion yet. But we move on, the show goes on, and we do what we can. So here, we're just finishing this fight off here, so a full yellow bar, which is nice. And we go into this Guardian fight. So the way that the original war assignments was going to be, if we had all 10 members of the battle group, was that this would be my last boosted fight, and then I'd be going in to do the Iron Man Infinity War Rage with Magneto. Take off my attacking masteries, and just kind of special 1 start, get to a special 3, end the fight. Pretty much was how it was going to be. But because that changed, obviously assignments and things after this changed. So here, the intention was to throw the special 2 quite early on to get rid of the armor. And then once the armor disappeared, I wouldn't be able to get the bleed on me from the Chineas Thorns. And that'd be that. So we go through here and hope that Magneto's ability accuracy reduction 1 would keep giving me the shocks, so that I could keep healing from willpower, and would also stop the armors coming back. But I just seem to constantly scrub up on the Guardian special attacks, and it ends up getting quite close by the end of it. There's so many in a row, I end up getting right, and then all of a sudden, because I just pulled up basically in a car park to do it. So here you can go, he's got the armor back up now, so the ability actually didn't stop it, and all the bleeds are being applied on me. He's got so many high ground charges, so I need to watch out as that for wells, because every time I take a blocked hit, it's going to put so much damage onto me. So I'm doing full combos, but then that doesn't help me out for the suppression node. Completely fluff up my decks again here. That special 1 hits like a truck compared to the other special ones. So now I'm just throwing a special attack just to try and do some extra damage and keep them away from me for a second. Try and get some extra adrenaline and healing back. Trying to take the special 1s because they are easier to dex. I know I'm not making it seem that way, but they are a lot easier to dex than what a Guardian special 2 is. And as you can see now, we're both in Assassin's range. So it's getting to the point where it's pretty close. My ability accuracy could have failed, but because of Magneto's abilities now since his buff, I am healing from the bleeds and the shock. It's just not much. I'm just having to watch out for the high ground damage. And as you can see here now, I'm just trying to just hit Guardian as much as I can to kill them. And yeah, thankfully here he throws a special 1. I managed to dodge it, and we get out of there with full attack bonus. But that's probably the worst fight I've had in a few seasons. So anyway, as I said, assignments had to change. We couldn't fully explore the map. Things were as they were. So it just meant boosting up again. And now my assignment is to do the White Magneto that is on Safeguard. And I've also got to do the Weapon X, which is on Stunning Reflection. Done it before. Not a fan of the matchup, but you have to deal with sometimes the hand that's dealt to you. And that's just what this war is, really. It's damage control. Especially because of the fact that we couldn't do it. Luckily for me, I'm an officer, so I wasn't kicked. So even if that hadn't happened, I would have still been fine to join whenever I wanted. But it is what it is. So here I'm going to start throwing special 2s. Just because I need that, and because I have Mystic Dispersion maxed while I'm in this war, it means that I should be able to get back to these special 2s a little bit quicker. Especially fighting against someone like Magneto, because he constantly gets prowesses that now he can't use. So as you can see there, I've just taken that onto the block. I'm just trying to be safe. Like I said, Alliance War, for the most part, unless it's off-season or unless you've got mad skills and you know you can do it and there's no danger, is just about getting through the fight and getting it done and trying to just help the team win. I was really hoping at some point that Magneto might like shell up and just throw a special 2, but that doesn't ever seem to want to be the case in this fight. Pretty much, as you can see, every single time they get the chance to get a special 1, they're throwing it. And I don't really want to be taking too many hits to the block, especially with high ground, so I just let them throw it. Take that to the block if needed because it won't do too much, and it leaves them on 1%. So I could have been running suicides for these fights, but just decided not to because I didn't want to spend the units, if I'm being brutally honest. And this fight. So this fight's annoying, obviously, especially with the extra input issues, but basically to be able to get through this fight successfully, you have to be able to push Weapon X up to so many charges, anything over 15, and then bait a special attack. Well, basically, I messed up a heavy attack there. I thought I'd just time the Unstoppable right, but I didn't walk into that, so thank God I had the Indestructible. And I've never seen a Weapon X take that long to throw a special attack before. But now it's purely just a Quake fight. You can't stun Weapon X when he's in Berserk mode, so Stunning Reflection doesn't exist. So you kind of bypass that node for this fight in that way using Quake. But he's constantly unblockable. So it's one of them things that it's unfortunate, but it's something that you benefit from one thing, but you have to deal with something else. So it is what it is. As you can see here now, we're just going through the fight. It's taken a while. It has a lot of HP. We're down 2 minutes so far, and they're still not under 50% yet. So there, it's taken 2 minutes 15 basically, because of the really slow start, to get them under 50%. I think it's around here somewhere. There's a weird interaction where he decides to throw a heavy attack. And I try to do 2 heavies, but my input drops and messes up, and then I panic. And I get whacked, but luckily my Indestructible still had one or 2 hits left. So I managed to survive it. Is it somewhere around here? Sure it is. There. So there you go, I get whacked by the heavy attack. Luckily the bleed doesn't do too much to me. But now it's just getting through the rest of the fight, keeping composed, hope that doesn't happen again. And as you can see here, I'm down to basically 1 minute left, so the fight's been 4 minutes of quaking with the unblockable nature on it. So now I'm just waiting for this set of aftershocks to finish, and there we go. So that's my war done. I'm just going to show you now. We actually managed to take the boss down and whatever else. I managed to get through it with no items, luckily, so I'm quite happy with that. It's a good war when that happens. Obviously, we're going to lose this war to Noon, so great job to them. They cleared it, they did it in good fashion, and good luck to them for the rest of the season.